We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Sunday by the time you hear this, but we're recording it on Friday night, and it's been a pretty eventful week. The worst economic week in this country's in a long time. And yesterday we had all kinds of problems with the stock market. This is a self-inflicted injury into this country. We had a stock market that was flying high, that was at record highs. And in the 8 weeks that Donald Trump has been in office or thereabouts, it just cratered everything. We lost 1,500 points on the Dow on Thursday, 2,200 on Friday. The total amount of money lost in the stock market since Donald Trump took office on January 20th is $11 trillion. $11 trillion. And it's strictly because of Donald Trump's actions. There is no other factors involved here. There is no other issues. You can't blame it on Joe Biden. It's been strictly Donald Trump and the things he's doing. So here we are, sitting with a bunch of shit going on, and no one to blame but Donald Trump. We're doing a live on TikTok for those listening to the podcast. If you're on the live, thanks for joining us. We're going to have a fun conversation today. We're going to have a lot of the normal guests in, and of course, we're going to take people from the crowd so you can make your observations, get your perceptions, take your questions if we can. But there's a lot to talk about today. We have TJ the plumber, JD Farmer, and Rebecca with us right now. TJ, how you doing? This hasn't been a good week for you because you own a 401k.
Yeah, definitely not. I lost some more money today. A lot of money. As I
have
expect.
literally not looked at my 401k in the last 2 months. I refuse. I'm just not looking.
Yeah. It's a trail to disaster. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, it really is. JD Farmer, you're a younger guy. Yep. I don't know if you have a 401k, but how you feeling about the way things have been shaking out the last couple of days?
I do not have a 401k, but I'm kind of glad I don't right now.
Yeah, no shit.
JD, you got lots of time, bro.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I figured I'd wait this administration out before I do that.
Yeah, that's probably wise. When I talked to my financial guy just before all this happened, I said, we're thinking of another new investment. It's called pillowcase under my fucking mattress. Stuff all my money in there and stuff all my wife's money in there and just wait this shit out. This has really become actually silly. I mean, what's going on here is something we've never seen before. A willful effort to crash the economy. Now, people have been saying that for a while, but then Donald Trump comes back today and says, yeah, this is what I wanted to do, which is a normal reaction from a narcissist who fucks up. Mm-hmm. But he's admitting he wants to crash the economy, and I don't know what possible good that's going to be.
The only thing I can think of is that if they put us into a recession, the stock market tanks, all of his rich friends can buy the stocks up real cheap before it rebounds.
Yeah, I've heard that suggestion, but let me ask you this: are you going to risk $11 trillion of losses just so you can get cheap stocks? I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's kind of a lame ass insider trading. A lot fucking easier than that.
I said that the exact same thing the other day. I'm like, why would you lose all that money just to be able to buy some cheap stocks?
I think
that's such a bogus argument.
Well, I think it's an easy thing to say because Donald Trump and the rich guys are plotting against us and stuff, and this is just a way for them to get cheap stock. But here's the deal: that only works if the stock goes back up. And what is Donald Trump doing to ever make the stock go back up? It's great to buy it cheap, but then it has to go up, and Donald Trump doesn't seem to be doing anything to make that happen.
Well, if you're a billionaire, though, do you really care when it comes back up? I mean, if you can buy it for pennies on the dollar and you got to sit on it for 3-4 years, so what?
Yeah, I think when people say that, well, he's got $100 billion. What does he care? Those motherfuckers care more than anybody else. I think they're very specific because it's not just money to them; it's ego. They always have to be winning, and when they're losing, and let's make no mistake about it, they're losing their asses right now. It's not just us; it's people in corporate America. I mean, J.P. Morgan is even freaking out at this point.
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot. Did you hear Scott Bessent? I think his name is Scott Bessent. He's the Treasury Secretary. Have you heard this story?
I haven't heard it. No.
I just heard it. Scott Bessent, this Weasley rich motherfucker, he's now making movements that he wants to leave his job as Secretary of the Treasury because he feels like it's hurting his integrity or his reputation in the financial world.
Oh,
yeah,
It's
you
too
just
late for that, isn't it?
So he's worried about it now. He didn't think about that, huh?
yeah, fucking crazy. I don't know, JD. Did you expect this kind of reaction of the stock market this quickly?
Oh yeah, time. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
It was like by the minute. I mean,
Well-
the reason he did it after hours is so you couldn't just sit there and watch it crash as people.
No, we did that this morning.
We called it last night on the podcast, and it's exactly what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The futures were at minus 15, and when we wrapped it up, it was minus 22,000. Here's the thing. Here's another fact that I heard. There's been so many losses since Donald Trump has taken the presidency. Not since January 20th to now. The losses, the disruption, and the destruction in the economy in this instance is worse than what happened in COVID. That's fucking crazy to imagine for how long COVID went on. It took him 2.5 months to absolutely destroy everything.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's
All right.
Sorry, I was blocking somebody. I didn't.
Yeah, I was after the same person you were.
Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
No problem. I'm going to bring somebody up here just to see what their input. There's got to be a lot of people freaking out here right now. We have James on now. James, are you there? And what's on your mind? I can only imagine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, James.
I'm not a Trump supporter, but I am waist deep in trading stocks. So
Okay.
what the plumber was saying a minute ago, billionaires sitting back on their hands watching this happen, Trump's got to also understand his electorate is taking a drubbing out there.
Right.
I understand the billionaires stepping back, but they are taking a drubbing. If you remember, I don't know if you guys were invested at the time, but in 2007 when Bush was leaving, we were getting up every day. Our credit rating had been lowered from AAA to AA to I can't remember, and you guys may remember. I don't remember what we got, but it was so bad that we thought the whole financial system was going to collapse. And we were only down like $1,000 a day. We were down 2,000 today, and it was just like there was some guy on there I think worked with Clinton and may have been a Treasury Secretary that said if the stock market saw something that was going to turn this around, everybody would start buying, and we would reach a bottom. Well, obviously, after today, not only have we not reached the bottom, where is this headed? And, I'm not just bashing on Trump. I'm just talking about people that are looking out for your 401. This is until that I see if Trump's henchmen will finally come in and make him push him out front and say, we're not going to do the tariffs, I was playing, or whatever's going through his mind, you can see a boomerang in the market. But you cannot invest waiting on Trump to come out for a boomerang.
Well, James, I will ask you this. You say you don't want to blame it all on Trump. Who else is there to blame? I mean, Trump and the Republicans. Well, no, who else did it?
Yes, they did. But I didn't want to come on here not knowing everybody. I didn't want to get into a mudslinging fest. But, yeah, we've shot ourselves in the foot. There was a ad that he said that Kamala Harris, if she was elected, inflict the worst damage on 401 it's ever been to hit the greatest of all time, never seen before by man. Look at what he just did, and he just walking off laughing. So I understand. I
Well,
just didn't want to get into a mudslinging, so that's
I
why I
got you.
held my tongue.
I understand that, and I will just tell you this, James. When you see my face on a live,
Yeah.
if there's a Trump humper, you won't get a chance to talk, and the Trump humper will be crying because we're not fucking around with those idiots. So you don't have to
Okay.
worry about speaking up against Trump when you're around us.
This is absolutely a shot that we did not deserve. He inherited the best economy in 50 years, 3.2 gross domestic product. It was growing every year. And he has turned it down to negative. That was a month ago, negative 2.3. After today, this stuff is falling apart so fast you can't put the mathematics together quick enough. And I can't
Last
get out of it.
last I heard, it was up to 3.7 negative for the GDP when it comes out. That comes from the Atlanta Fed. So we'll see what happens.
Right. And people that are in the know. Look, and people, if the Trumpers want to come on here, I'm on CNBC all day. That is waist deep in Republicans. You know what I mean? They want lower capital gain. I know what I'm dealing with, but I'm trying to trade my stocks. But they all look at him like, is this guy a fool? What has he done to us? So
Yeah.
when you start pissing off that bunch, eventually they're going to whisper in his ear. The question is he going to back off, or is he going to continue with this and totally wreck the economy for no reason?
Well, here's the thing, James. He has no reason to back off because he has nothing to gain. When he was in the first time and he buried the farmers, that he bailed them out, he had to bail them out because he needed their votes. He doesn't need anybody's votes anymore. This is classic narcissist. Tell you and do whatever he has to do to get what he wants. And then when he gets what he wants, he kicks you to the curb. And that's what he's doing to America right now.
And he talked about how he saved the steel industry with his tariffs last time. Go back to 2016, and you guys may know it. Go to U.S. Steel. The symbol is X. It was around $35 to $37, and prior to COVID in 2019, it was $6. All right, he killed them. He killed the Midwestern farmer. They had nowhere to send their soybeans, and he just killed them because I think they had, and you guys could help me. They had contracts with people overseas.
USAID.
USA.
Okay, yes. There you go. They had beans. What it was? They had something down there in Galveston or something like $500 million in stuff that was rotting. They had nowhere to go, and now the farmers can't renew their contracts, and they're standing there with farmland. What do you do with it?
And they aren't going to get bailed out this time. Guaranteed they won't get bailed out. So, but you got to remember, James, a lot of these motherfuckers are the ones that voted for Donald Trump. So it's hard to feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the country. I feel sorry for the innocent people that didn't vote for Donald Trump that are suffering. But these people that were so ignorant and so blind and voted for Donald Trump, I not only don't feel sorry for them, I hate them for what they did to the innocent people. It's just very frustrating.
I curse. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to ask where you're from because I'm getting a southern accent going on there, and I'm guessing you're a blue dot.
I'm Memphis, Tennessee. I'm in a red state. Just look here. I can't even jump across the river get anywhere red. I got to swim a long way.
Wow. Yeah. I have a regular guest on my podcast. His name is Ed. I knew him when he worked up in Minnesota in radio. He's from Tennessee. He's living in Tennessee right now. Hardcore liberal. It's his hometown he's living in. But even he said, I got to get the fuck out of here. It's just crazy. Any red state is going to get decimated by these financial things that Donald Trump is doing, from tariffs to the cuts to all this stuff. The red states are just going to get hammered. And people still not changing their minds. It's like they can't grasp what's going on here. They stand by Donald Trump no matter what happens.
Well, when I first stumbled across it, I saw the plumber on there. You guys were talking economics and stock market and what we're going to do. But my theory is not only that, if we're going to cumber this up so poorly, my grandmother's on Medicare. I got folks on Medicaid. What is the next shoe? Are you going to try to cumber it up and make it look so bad to the public? and then say, well, we just got to disorient the whole thing because we screwed it up so bad that we can't make it work right. Well, it was doing all right until you got in there, and then I think they're going to give it a bad label. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's what they're going to try to do, but they fucked up so badly up to this point. People now, anybody with any common sense, despise what these Republicans and Donald Trump is doing. If they were going to try to do that, they'd have to be slicker than they have been. I mean, I'm on Medicare. I just got on Medicare this month. I get my Social Security. I don't live and die by it, but I'm going to be pissed off if they fuck with it. And there are poor people out there that live wholly on Social Security and depend on Medicare or Medicaid. There will be a revolution in this country. Like I said, when you do this much bad to the country, you take away people's livelihoods, people are going to get hurt. And I'm not necessarily even talking financially. When people are pushed in the corner and they've got nowhere to go, people react. They get emotional. And he's putting this country in a very bad situation, a very volatile situation.
I totally agree with you. That is absolutely correct.
Somebody in the comments, I think it was Scott, said he's going to push us into war to cover everything up, and I'm like, honestly, you say that, but who knows if that's like what they'll try to do? Like, no, maybe not war, but something else ridiculously major that's going to cover up.
But I thought it would have
cover
been MAGA versus us, but the MAGA bunch is going. The problem is the MAGA bunch gets more from Medicaid and Medicare than the other side. They're going to be the ones that are pissed. So whoever's thinking that's going to happen, they may end up getting pissed. Now, they weren't the smartest of the smart, but I imagine they're going to understand we just got screwed.
Yeah, no question. James, I'm going to cut you loose because I got some other people I want to bring up. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sorry. I just assumed you knew who we were, and I'm glad you clarified that. Thank you.
I'll be back another time.
Thank you, James. You're welcome anytime.
Now,
All right.
I just want to clear something up here. I'm seeing martial law being thrown around in the comments, and I just want to say that martial law would not work for a number of reasons, and people are theorizing that they're going to use it to stop elections. But there's nothing in the Constitution under the Insurrection Act that says that martial law halts elections. During the Civil War, President Lincoln enacted martial law, and we still had the regular election cycles through the whole Civil War.
Right.
It's not going to work, and it wouldn't do anything for him at all.
No, I don't think the martial law thing is something Republicans like to talk about. Didn't work in South Korea. It's not going to work here because it's not going to be the same thing. Donald Trump is on the run right now. The Republicans are on the run. They fuck up everything they do. So I'm not too worried about that at this point. We've got Old Soul on the line right now, and I have a feeling I know what she wants to talk about. Old Soul, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And yes, of course, I wanted to promote the protest, but I'm laughing because I just read a story. Y'all gotta hear this. So, Donald Trump, he bought eggs from Turkey. Like, he begged them, like, we need your eggs. So he ended up buying the eggs from Turkey, right? They put the eggs on a commercial flight. And when the eggs got here, 30% of the eggs was all broken up.
What a idiot.
What the heck? I mean, I guess commercial flight is the only other way when you got like tariffs on everything and everybody. So I'm sorry, that was cracking me. That was cracking me up.
Why did he want the eggs?
Cracking you up.
What was he going to do with the eggs?
No,
What was he going to do?
He was getting them from Turkey and bringing them here because we were slaughtering so many chickens because of the bird flu. So instead of trying to address the bird flu and all that stuff, he was firing health professionals and everybody that was investigating that, right? So his next option, he went and he bought it from Turkey. But when he brought it here because of the tariffs, he had to put it on a commercial flight, which cracked 30% of the eggs all broken up. So I was like, I don't know. That was just crazy to be like, you can't even do that, right?
Yeah. It's just unfucking believable. So tell us about this protest tomorrow. I have heard a lot about it. I think I'll check it out here. But this sounds like it's going to be quite a big thing. And, after you crash the economy, that's going to kind of motivate people to come out.
Yeah, that's what we were seeing today. So many people was like, where's it going? Like, how do we get there? If you want information on it, go to mobilize.us and it has information on there. And then there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Cliff Cash Comedy, I believe. And he's like one of the main organizers. He's going to be in DC. So if you go to his page, he will give you information on stuff that's in your area and also the main protest that's going to be in DC. And then like a lot of people are like, we want to come out now because of he crashed the economy. There's a lot of vets upset. I don't know if you saw that he skipped the dignified transfer. Boomer, you and I talked about this on your podcast once. In his last administration, the soldiers were coming here and he went, but one of the parents of the falling soldiers kind of like went off on him. And that does happen. I can't think of a president where they didn't go off. And after that, he never went to another dignified transfer. He would send Mike Pence to do it. So this time he skipped the transfer and he sent Pete Hegseth to to show respect and all that. Like, how do you? I know why he doesn't do it, because he doesn't respect our veterans and he really doesn't care. I think for me, it's like looking at MAGA, like, this don't bother y'all? Like, it don't bother you guys at all? It's just the weirdest thing that they can still say they are for the truth and they're not.
Yeah. It's. I heard about that dignified transfer thing, and normally presidents do show up. Like you say, he sent Pete Hegseth, but he was busy. Trump was busy. He had a big Saudi Arabian golf tournament going on at his golf club, so he had a good excuse.
Yeah,
this fucker's gone to Florida every weekend since he's been president. He's golfed 1/3 of the time and spent close to $30 million of American money. American taxpayer money, so he can play fucking golf. So don't tell me he didn't take a salary. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's insane. There's one story I just want to tell you guys, because a lot of people's like, I don't recognize this country. This is not my country. It's so bad. It's so horrible. But we were in Florida, and there's two they started off with one Cuban woman, and she can't have her baby in the hospital because she's scared. You know what I mean? She can't get on a plane and go somewhere because she's a Cuban person. Getting on a plane in Florida is like you asking to go to Venezuela at that point, right? And so I was calling my family here, and they're like, nope, do not come home with anybody. So there was there's a veteran at the protest, him and his wife, both veterans. And they were like, okay, if we can figure out where she can go, we will take her. And one of the other protesters said, hey, my grandma, she raised us and my brother just left, so she's like in a 3-bedroom house by herself. Let me see if she will let you guys come there. And the grandmother said, yeah, no problem. Bring him to California. I got you. These two veterans are literally in the car with two pregnant women. One of them, like once they figured out that we can get her out, the other woman was like, hey, my daughter, she's 19, she's pregnant. Can you please take her? And they were like, yep, no problem. So they put these two women in the car, and they are driving from Florida to California, which is like, 48 hours or something crazy like that. But the thing that made me say, you know what, this is America, it's not this MAGA crap that's going on, is most of the people at that protest was like, hey, what's your Zoom? What's your Cash App? We want to go in on gas money. We want to make sure that we can get you guys a hotel. And it was just like, every time I feel like I don't recognize this country, people will show me that. It's still a good country. It's just being led by a dipshit right now. But I think people should remember that when they are just saying they don't like America. And these are veterans. They don't know if they're going to keep their benefits. They're being attacked by this administration. And they are still willing to say, nope, I have a duty to the people in this country. We're going to get these women safely to California so they can go to a hospital and have their babies. So I just wanted to tell everybody that don't give up on this country. It's still good people in there.
I appreciate that. And we are bringing in analytical Iowan now, Eric from Iowa.
Hey, Eric.
Eric, what the fuck is going on? You seem to have all the answers and details about it. We see what's going on with the stock market. We expected it to be bad, but for Christ's sake.
Help us.
Well, I mean, we saw what granted the tariffs were put on in 1930 after the stock market crashed and made it worse. This time the tariffs are going to be the cause of a Great Depression. And it's coming, and it's coming fast. I mean, what was it? The Dow Jones I was looking at today dropped 2,000 points, 4,000
2,200.
4,000 something in the last 2 days, like 10% of its value.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse as investors are going, what the fuck?
Now, I want to ask you guys a question, and I just watched something before we came on, and Elizabeth Warren is presenting some kind of resolution in the Senate which would take away the power of tariffs for Donald Trump, and they could shut this whole thing down. Everything that Donald Trump has done, they could take it away from him, shut it all down. But of course, they need Republicans to vote. We've seen some Republicans kind of moving to the other side. Do you think the pressure they're getting now, do you think that's what happens in Congress? They create a resolution and they just take this shit from Donald Trump? That would be the thing to do. I'm just not sure the Republicans have the balls to do it.
No, they'll
Go
do
ahead,
it,
TJ.
but here's the problem. They might get some Republicans to get over 60 in the Senate, but Trump's going to veto it, and it'll go back, and they're not going to have enough for a veto override.
I agree. Yeah.
No, they don't need that. No. On this resolution thing, they don't need Trump's signature. That's the point.
Oh,
Well, the one thing here is I don't know if they need Trump's signature or not, but if it's the same resolution, Chuck motherfucking Grassley was actually on board with a bipartisan resolution to scale back the tariff power. Now, I don't know if it's the same resolution, but Chuck Grassley's on board, and him, like Mitch McConnell, his voice carries some weight. Whether it means anything, I don't know. But that motherfucker's been in the Senate longer than I've been alive. He's got friends all over the place. It's got to count for something.
Well, there's got to come up.
Yeah.
There's got to come a point when the Republicans push back. I mean, it's one thing up to now. I can't believe they haven't already. But when people are losing their 401ks, when the stock market is crashing, it's not, we're getting hit by this, we the people, but fucking big business is getting decimated too.
That's
$11
true.
trillion since he's been in office? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's true, Boomer, because I don't know if you saw, but just one day's loss for like that top 10%, you're talking about Bezos and, the rest of the clowns. They lost $208 billion in one day. So
Yeah.
I don't for us, these protests tomorrow, they're going to be massive. I can pretty much guarantee you that. But if these Republicans are getting it from us in the streets and they have their big donors, okay, so when you run for re-election, do not come over here looking for money. This is what they're going to do. They're going to let them know we will withhold our money. So you either need to get him in line or get him the hell out. I don't think it'll be us, and I don't think it'll be just the billionaires either, but I think if we put pressure on them coming from both sides, they will act and do something about Trump. I do believe that. How long it's going to take, I don't know, but I think that's a possibility.
I don't know either. I've got somebody here that claims they have a plan. Now, I'm not familiar with this name, so I'm taking a flyer here, and we'll see what happens.
Good. I was going to ask you to bring this guy up.
It's Vin Chicas, I believe is the name, and assuming they answer the call, there you go.
Thank you for taking the risk.
No problem, Vin. What's on your mind?
Okay, my plan is this. You see, you have right now 848 people, right, on your life.
855, yeah.
Yeah, my plan is you set up a GoFundMe, and we with $10 a week. Everybody here, you can set it up. It's gonna be 8,000, and we can have 6-7 people every single day in front of the Capitol with signs calling out the coward Republicans. We must show to the world a shame on them, because they are doing nothing at all. And they
Yeah.
be quiet. They are being quiet because the media doesn't take them up. And you excuse me
Well-
English because it's not that well.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things, Vin. First of all, there is going to be a lot of people showing up to the protest tomorrow. Old Soul will be there, and she'll report back to us as to what happens. As far as me putting up a GoFundMe and checking taking people's money. That's not how I do things. I don't want people's money.
Okay.
I don't want to be
We
the
are-
one in charge of that thing. I understand. I can talk about it here. We have 804 people out there,
Also,
and we
but
can talk
exactly,
about going out.
from this-
But I don't want anybody's money.
Okay, no. You remember, GoFund is no. You don't get the money from nobody for yourself. It's to fund something, an idea.
I don't.
Maybe,
I don't want to
maybe-
handle the money.
Okay,
That's not what I do.
You can act because you have 800 people more here. Somebody gonna listen you every single day. Somebody have the time to do that. I don't want to do it because my English is not that well. But myself, I'm willing to put at least $20, $30 because this is the simple idea. I know there are protests, and tomorrow gonna be one of those days. But we need every single day from Monday to Tuesday to Friday in the capital. You know what I mean? You don't have to
No,
do
I
it
do.
yourself. But it's like a good idea on it. 800 people here. Somebody gonna have the time to do that.
Well, I'll defer to Old Soul here. She's dealt with people donating money and collecting money and such. Do you think we need that kind of inducement to get people to come out, or is the stock market crashing to its lowest level since COVID? Do you think that's enough motivation? What you understand what he's talking
but
about,
we
Old
have
Soul?
to do more. We
Yeah,
have to do
I
more.
wouldn't say that because standing outside of the Capitol at this moment, it does nothing because the news are not providing any kind of coverage on the protest at all whatsoever.
No,
And
I said
part
that.
of the
I said
reason
that.
that they, yeah, part of the, and so if you're standing outside of DC with a sign, they don't care. And to me, that's just kind of like a waste. You need a lot of people there to begin with. But the reason that they're not covering these protests, and Boomer, I'm pretty sure you can attest to it, but during the civil rights movement, white people was just like cool. They was chilling. They really didn't know what was going on. But once they
Right.
started showing it on television, then that's when you started getting like white people coming out to the protest, jumping in, fighting with us, for us. That's what
Yeah.
they were doing. So our main focus right now is to get the news to cover it. Just one person standing outside holding a sign, it doesn't do that.
I'm not
We've
talking-
protested in front
I'm
of
not
Fox,
talking about one
CNN,
people.
all of that.
I'm not
And
talking-
they don't even cover protest outside of their building.
Okay, you don't get the idea. You don't get it. But it's okay. It's okay. I pass.
Well, Vin, I tell you what, I'm here every day, have been for 4 years. I do anywhere from 5 to 10 TikToks a day and an hour podcast. This is what I can do. I can go out, tell people what's going on, try to inspire, try to incite people to participate. And that's all I can do. But if everybody does something, whatever it is, no matter how small it is, this is where it all happens. What Donald Trump did today and yesterday is the thing that's going to motivate a lot of people. Donald Trump fucked up here. He went over the cliff, and people are getting upset. The media is covering the crash of the economy. So Donald Trump fucked up here. He went too far. He does what
Boomer.
narcissists do, push it to the limit,
Boomer.
and he went too far. Yeah.
Boomer, Trump has been over the Constitution 3 times, over the Congress, the legislative part, like 5 times, and people still don't get it. What I'm telling you is so simple. It will cost you $10, myself, $10, because we are 800 people right now.
What are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do with the money?
No, not me. I'm talking about I don't have that time because I have to run my business. That's what
No.
I want. Listen, how easy is this? Listen, how
Once
easy
you
it is.
collect the
saying
money,
is that
what's
he wants
anybody
to
going to do
raise-
with it?
Do you
He wants
remember
to raise the money to send people to Washington to protest.
not to protest, to keep signs there like a paying salary every single week, like 10 people, 5 people at least, with signs showing every single a Congress or senator name and say, don't be a coward, stand up. That's gonna bring the media over because I'm telling you, it's a simple thing, it's a small thing, but it doesn't matter. We have to get a little things together, and maybe other people gonna come with the same idea, and more, and later gonna have like 1,000 people there. I'm talking about in your life, 800 people can start something. Maybe in another life do the same thing. In another life do the same thing. Do you get the idea little by little?
I understand what you say, but I will tell you this, Vin. We're at 8:55, and since we talked about collecting money, we're down to 6:41. So I question whether that's the best idea for me. I appreciate the input, though, Vin. I do, and I agree with you. We've got to do something to get people motivated to do it. And I think what we saw on television today with the economy, I think people are starting to freak out. Yes, he has gone past the Constitution before, but now it's starting to pinch people in the ass, and that's when they're going to react.
Also, Vin, if you want to, I think I understand what you're saying. Like you want the like the coverage outside of like the protests and stuff like that. And you want to like live stream it. Make sure that if the news isn't streaming it, you are streaming it. There's a YouTube channel and it's called Status Coup News, and they live stream like all of the protests, and a lot of people will just take their coverage and they will stream it on their social media platforms just so more people's eyes can get on it. So you might want to go to that channel and then make sure that you are actually streaming their stream so that people are watching it, if that's what you're talking about.
So don't forget this. Many people don't have time to be in this live. Many people don't even understand what is YouTube. Many people don't even watch that kind of media. You must to open your mind about other people that don't use this kind of technologies or media. You know what I mean? People
Well,
who understand normal thing. But I got you. My idea is maybe anybody in this 800 people or 600 people, whatever you want to call it. I'm not talking, I don't want it because I don't have no time. But there is a lot of good fault for many other things. Somebody going to have the time, somebody going to have the idea.
well,
It's something like that.
well,
It's a
Vin, I'll
little,
tell you this.
it's a
Vin,
little
I'll
brick
tell you
in a
this.
big wall.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but Vin, I have 855 with the highest point here on the live. But understand, I do these TikToks every day, and over a month's period, I have 6 to 7 million views a month. So we are reaching people. We are talking to people. We all can only do what we can do, and that's all we ask from anybody is to do the best they can. This is a tough situation. We've got a lot going against us with the media and politicians and stuff. We're at a place where we have never been before, so this is all new. We just all got to get up and be ready to fight because we're in nowheresville as far as what we know anything about. So we've got to try everything, and I appreciate the idea that you are thinking about this and coming up with some ideas, and I agree with you 100%. I thank you for coming on, Vin. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for your time, Boomer, but I have a question for you. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Let's say tomorrow 5 million people gonna be in the protest, right? 5 million people. If
That's
Trump
right.
if Trump already wiped his ugly ass with the Constitution and with the legislative part, do you think he cares about 500 million people? I mean,
No, I don't
8
think
million.
I don't think he cares, but I think the
Okay,
Republican
that's my
Party
point.
that do have to get elected again do.
That's the point that you. Okay, it's okay.
All
I'll
right.
give
Well,
it to you. Thank you so
thank
much,
you very
brother.
much. This is the deal. I appreciate everybody having ideas and stuff that they want to do, but it's so often they say, "Yeah, you should do it. I'm too busy." Don't tell me what I need to do. I'm doing as much as I can right now, and I'll do more if I can. But don't tell me you're too busy. Do something. Write a fucking letter. Send an email. You don't have to amass thousands of people in a protest. I appreciate what Vin is saying, but I get people coming to me all the time. You should do a GoFundMe and help this. Help. I'm not taking people's money. I'm here
Yeah.
doing what I do gratis, and that's just the way it's going to be. I'm sorry.
Yeah, most of the country right now is, if they miss a paycheck, it's devastating for them. You're living paycheck to paycheck, even when they say, okay, if your Social Security check may come late, but yeah, if you get it late, that doesn't take away your late fees and different things that you have as a result of delaying payment. So everybody should be managing their money very carefully and doing the best that they can with it. And so if you don't have the money, there's other things that you could do, like live stream the protest and different things like that. But I wouldn't feel comfortable, especially how things are right now, taking money from anybody. I just couldn't see myself doing that.
No, I don't want to do that. And put it this way: if my Social Security check is late, I'm going to the reddest part of the country and go Jack Reacher on these motherfuckers.
I got your bill money.
Yeah, thank you. I got somebody else coming up here. Dina, you're on. How you doing? What are you thinking about?
Oh, what am I thinking about? Number one, hello, fellow boomer.
Hey,
Well, I'm going to
Dina.
be out protesting today. And the other thing I wanted to say is just think about it, guys. When this piece of
Shit.
crap, yeah, shit took office, our economy was the envy of the world, okay? I
Right.
mean, inflation was coming down the whole 9 yards. Look at where we are now. And I, for one, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think all you have to do is look at the facts. This was intentional. He wants to destroy our country. He wants to destroy our country. And I'm sure you guys have heard about tariffs and talked about tariffs all day. But the one thing that I want to highlight is Russia and Belarus was not on that list. However,
Yeah, interesting.
McDonald and Heard Island, two little islands in the Antarctic Ocean, one with penguins, one uh, an abandoned base, were both on the list with 10% tariffs. There is no rhyme, no reason. He has one thing in mind, and that's to destroy this country. And I think it's partially out of revenge, and I think it's partially due to a philosophy by Carl Yarvin called the Dark Enlightenment and Project 2025.
Yeah. Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. First of all, I will say I've been hearing that the penguin lobby is fucking pissed, but the 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 fact that people say he's doing it on purpose and people saying that's a conspiracy theory. He said in the media today, "Yeah, I did it on purpose." He admitted to that. Now, what he probably meant by that was typical narcissist, where when you do something and you fuck up, you know how like when you run down the street, when you're walking down the street and you trip on the curb and you immediately catch yourself and you start running like you meant to do it. That's what Donald Trump is doing with this thing. He knows he fucked up. Now he's saying, "Yeah, I meant to do that." But I don't know whether he meant to do it originally. But I think the people around him that manipulated into him to do exactly what he's doing now. Nobody with half a brain could think that anything different would happen.
I have a question because, oh, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing. The one thing that we're all missing, and the reason it's so important for all of us to get involved, and yes, I will be protesting tomorrow, and yes, I have been involved in many ways, is because we have lost our credibility around the world. No one
Oh, no
trusts
question.
us. And even if we do come back from this, even if our protests do make a change, all right, it's going to take a while for the world to trust us again. The first time he was elected, it was a fluke. Second time, not so much.
Yeah, people will say, it's just Donald Trump, and they don't trust Donald Trump. But we got to remember, we fucking elected him. So can
That's
they
right.
trust us?
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Go ahead,
I
old
was
soul. You
wondering.
had
I
something.
was wondering. So part of me, I kind of look at it as like maybe is he doing this as a shakedown? And what I mean by that is put the tariffs on, leave the tariffs on, and I think this is a harebrained idea because he doesn't understand. But maybe he's thinking, "You want me to lift these tariffs? What are you going to give me?" Type of thing, where he can just kind of force them to give him whatever it is that he's asking for, or he's expecting if you have to pay not to be on the tariffs list, kind of like the mobs back in the day. We'll protect your store, but you're gonna have to pay us first to do that. A part of me thinks that's maybe where he's coming from with it, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's absolutely true. I mean, that's what he does. Everybody talked about the tariffs as a negotiating ploy, and it's I'm going to bully you. You give me what I want, and then I won't do it anymore. And then they don't do that, so he puts the tariffs on. He did it with Canada. He did it with Mexico. You put the tariffs on, and then he goes and negotiates with them, gets nothing, but then comes back and says, "Oh, I scored big." Donald Trump likes these countries coming to him and begging him for help. This is a power thing with him, and that's absolutely what he's going to want to do. But the fact of the matter is he's doing it to everybody in the fucking world. How's he going to have time in between golf and shit in his pants?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe that's where he's going with this, and he doesn't know enough to see that the other countries are making deals and how they can navigate this without needing America. And then you see other countries actually stepping up their military, selling each other weapons, refusing to sell weapons to us.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they sell us weapons with Donald? That's like giving a child scissors to play with, right? So I don't think he's seeing that aspect of it. Like, he really does think that people are going to say, what do I need to do for you to lift these tariffs? A part of me thinks that.
Yeah, I think that's true. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think you're right, Boomer, that he's saying I did it on purpose now as a backpedal to make him seem like a genius, that, oh, this was my plan, as he's taking heat for doing it. We knew he was going to wreck the economy doing this. It's been faster than we thought because it's, like I said, what was it? The Dow down 10% in 2 days, something like that, and continuing to fall. He's probably trying to shake him down a little bit, trying to see what he can get out of it. But the rest of the world is going around without us. They're going to find ways to get what they need without the United States, one way or another. And he's just weakening our position in the world. He doesn't realize it. And his dementia's too far gone for anybody to be able to get to him and make him understand. Besides, he doesn't understand still what a tariff is. I still believe that he firmly thinks tariffs are some magical thing. You say, I'm putting 25% tariffs on Canada, and that money just moves from the Canadian treasury to our treasury, and we make money and nobody has to pay it.
Right. Well, that's the thing that people are saying, that this equates to the largest tax increase in American history, $6 trillion, something like that. And, we understand that you put the tariffs on, the people end up paying it in higher prices. And the question is, when all those tariffs are collected, what are they going to do with it? I mean, theoretically, it should go back into the country and help the people that are getting beaten up. But what in fact is intended for it is to take that extra money, regardless of where they get it from, whether it be from the foreign country or the people themselves, to give a tax break to the wealthy. And that's what people have to understand. They're once again robbing us, or attempting to rob us, in order to give rich people who don't need the help yet another tax break. And I don't know what it's going to take to get Trump-lefucks to understand this, but it's pretty clear and it's pretty obvious.
I think they are getting it. If you've seen Ben Shapiro, I think that's his name. I can't listen to him that long because I swear to God, he sounds like a Muppet and somebody's hand is up his butt. I cannot listen to that man talk. But he was calling Trump out today. He really, really was. And another one of those right-wing influencers, I don't know his name, he said he lost $7 million. So if you have Ben Shapiro and these other like broadcast people that they watch and listen to, those people are losing a lot of money. They rich, but they not Elon Musk rich. You know what I mean? They're not Jeff Bezos type of rich. And so with them having such a captive audience that listens to them, I think that's going to make a difference for the Trump supporters as well, seeing what's going on.
The guy you were talking about is Dave Portnoy. He's the owner or head guy of Barstool Sports. Joe Rogan even spoke out against Donald Trump. The thing about it is it's fine that they're speaking out about it now because they're getting their ass bit, but they're not stupid people. I asked one Trump-lefuck, and he was complaining about the tariffs and how he's losing money and stuff. And I said, let me understand this. I'm little more than a libtard. According to you, I'm not very smart. How is it I could see this 4 years ago and you haven't seen it till just now? What the fuck is the difference here? And the difference is that you want to hear what you want to hear, you want to believe what you want to believe, and then when it finally bites you in the ass, then you go, "Oh my God, this isn't great." What a selfish, short-sighted motherfucker.
Yeah, if I was a Trump supporter, I would be pissed off. You guys promoted him. You guys fed us all this BS. But now that you're losing money, you want us to tell us to think completely different than what you programmed us to think. I would be pissed off. But they don't seem to mind.
Well, all I've got to say
Absolutely.
about that is if they want sympathy, they can find it between shit. They can look it up in the dictionary.
Yeah.
I can tell you,
Absolutely.
I've been between shit and it ain't good.
Yeah. Well, I think any of us that have been married have been in that position.
Not the way I have, I assure you.
Well, I don't know. You get to be 65, crazy shit happens. Anyway, Dina, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it immensely.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate coming up here.
You're
Thanks,
welcome
Dina.
back anytime. Thank you, Dina.
Bye-bye now.
All right, that is Dina. You know, I made a statement on TikTok earlier, and when I was talking on there, I said, we're now getting to the point where some of these people are getting bit in the ass and they're starting to realize the problem with Donald Trump. These red flags have been going off for 8 years. This is not surprising to any of us on this panel. But when this is all said and done, just understand there is no redemption. You are going to wear Donald Trump around your neck for the rest of your life. After Donald Trump is long gone, you politicians like Marco Rubio and Mitch McConnell and the voters of these people,
The
you're
Scarlet
going to
Letter.
want to forget that. You're going to want to forget that you were involved.
No.
But I'll guarantee you, nobody
We're not
here is
gonna
going to
let you.
allow you to be forget. No,
We can't ever let them forget what they did.
Never.
Never.
They'll be wearing the Scarlet Letter.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, beyond us not letting them forget, did you see what Rand Paul said about these tariffs?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Eric, you called it way before he did. You really
I have
did.
been saying that if Donald Trump wrecks the economy, it could be just like the Great Depression, and Democrats could
Right.
be in power for a long time. He comes out and goes, "Look at history. And the Smoot-Hawley tariffs in the 30s made it so we didn't have Congress for 60 years."
Yep.
He's calling
Absolutely.
it. He's warning the Republicans, saying, "Hey, they're going to remember what we did, and we caused it." And
What?
Absolutely.
we can't let them forget, and I don't think people are going to forget. I think it. I was right. I think in this case, I can't believe I'm saying this. Rand Paul is right,
Yeah.
only because
Right.
he agrees with me. But people aren't going to forget that Republicans are the cause of all of this economic distress. And it's going to lead to a period where Republicans aren't in power for a while, as long as Democrats capitalize and do something
Hey.
to help people.
Fuck it. Let's go tariffs.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, but I'm pretty sure that Ben Stein called the Smoot-Hawley tariffs in the 80s in Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Now, it's unbelievable. I'm going to pull somebody else up here, and this person's name is Sandito SK. Sandito,
Yes,
Are you here?
Good evening, all.
Hello?
good evening. What's on your mind tonight?
I have been following you for the longest time. Watch all your things. Well,
Yeah.
I love the anything that will bring America to their knees. I love it. I'm sure all the Democrats are, liking what is happening because it will take it for it to crash for MAGAs to wake up. But again, what my thinking is this tariff, Trump thought that this time around was 8 years ago. It wasn't 8 years ago. Nobody's going to give a fuck. All those other countries that he's doing all these things to, they're not going to bow down to him. None of them is going to beg him. The reason why they're not going to beg him is because Trump is an imbecile. So, and when you're dealing with an imbecile, you can only be smiling because he's going to crawl back. Do you remember this thing he signed with Canada that he came back and said, who did that? Who did that bullshit?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was the same person that did it because he doesn't know anything. Even Republicans know that he doesn't know anything. The reason why Trump is in the office and still is in the office is because of Obama. Obama was in the office and he was successful, and they could not phantom that, and that is why they ignored all the red signs. They fold their ears and with their nose closed, and they keep pushing him. But this time around, he doesn't have anywhere to go. I like the idea of people, Democrats begin to taunt it that, okay, if Trump say he's going to run in 2028, Obama is going to run in 2028. You know why I love that idea? Because for Obama to come out, that is the only reason why the Republican will stop Trump from running 2028.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Donald Trump was the punishment for electing a black man.
Yeah.
I really do. And fuck them. It's just and they fucked up, and Donald Trump is an imbecile. There is no question about that. And this is something I've known all along. I think everybody with a normal intelligence or above knew he was an imbecile. But apparently there are bigger imbeciles out there that make him the head imbecile.
Yeah. And look at Elon Musk. Look at what is happening to him. Let me tell you something. Trump might go free because for Trump not to be in prison by now, we now know that he is bigger than America because of the hand that Republicans have given him. But guess what Elon Musk is doing? Elon Musk have gained enemy both with Republican and Democrat, all are American. And once Trump leaves office, the U.S. is going to get Elon Musk for what he did to America. They will get him.
I agree. Yeah, his time will come. I was hoping it was quicker than this, but his time will come.
Trump is covering them in his house until Trump is gone. That's when everything. Let me tell you, Republican doesn't want Trump either. It's just that there's something that he's using to hover over their head. And once Trump steps down, somebody like Trump will never come up in the Republican Party again, because they know they will quench that immediately, because they know the road that is going to lead to them. The thing they've done, this damage they did to America, is in 20 years' time, it's still going to be a fresh wound. So you can imagine what is going to happen.
It's going to be rough. Sandito, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it immensely. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank
Eric,
you.
Eric, you were right when you said that we knew he would crash the economy. You just didn't think that he would do it this quickly. You're right, because I've been sitting here thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, I knew he was going to do it, but it doesn't feel like he's only been in office for 2 months. It feels like forever. I didn't think it would happen this quickly. So you were spot on with that one.
I knew it would.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
And there was a lot of weird conspiracies on Facebook about how bad it was going to be, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's never going to be that bad." And
bullshit.
Yeah, it is that bad. It is that bad, and there was such a good chance it was going to be that bad.
I expected it to be bad. I just didn't. I expected him to crash the economy, but I didn't expect it to be 2 days after he announced the tariffs for it to be this bad.
No.
I thought it would take a little bit. A week, 2 weeks, a little bit. I didn't expect it to be almost immediate.
Well,
It was immediate.
Every government in the freaking world is like totally prepared to block us out, and so of course it was going to be that bad.
Well, we knew it was going to be bad when he did it at night after the markets closed, and then the futures came out, and it was already 1,500 down. So it did happen very, very quickly. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. I like the guy's name. If it's a guy, maybe it's a woman. He has a flag on there, so that. Okay, and it's "Don't Be a Richard."
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
not too bad. Turn it down in the background.
Turn down your phone a little bit if you're on your phone.
I don't
There
know
you
how
go.
to switch it.
Turn it down. Turn your volume down a little bit.
Well, we have a speaker.
Is this better?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it's a little
what's going
better.
on, guys? Yeah, I can't believe he pulled off what he pulled off as fast as he did. He's a POS, and I don't know. You do a great job, and I added you the other night. I was at work, and you guys are great speaking about it. I'm not as smart as you guys, and I'll let you guys do the talking. I love you guys, and thank you. And I can't believe that this guy is ruining the country as fast as he is. It's horrible. And I'll let you guys do the talking, and thank you for inviting me to speak, and I appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that too, and we want to give as many people as we can a chance to talk. And I appreciate the compliments and stuff. And you know, that's the thing is, if we want to win this thing, we all got to keep talking. It's not just me. It's not just these folks on the panel. It's everybody, and it's starting to happen. I think Old Soul has noticed that too. That we're getting bigger crowds. People are speaking out more. I'm going to pull in Joel, assuming he's available. We'll see. Hey, Joel, how you doing?
All right, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Not too bad. Yeah, you kind of sound like you're in a tin can or underwater or something, but go ahead.
Well, you know, we all knew that this was going to be happening, but like someone mentioned earlier, you know, I didn't expect it to happen this soon.
No.
And especially another thing is that what really burns me is that if Trump really cared about the economy, like he, you know, said he did, why is he in Florida golfing, spending taxpayers' dollars?
Exactly.
And he just doesn't really care. Point blank, you know.
Well, here's the big surprise for everyone. Donald Trump only cares about himself. This is something we've been saying for a long time, and today is proof positive that the world is falling apart. Literally, the world is crashing, and he's off playing golf in a Saudi Arabian fucking tournament that's at his own golf course. He's making money. He's consorting with the Saudis, and the rest of the world is burning down, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's a modern day Nero.
Yeah, and another thing is that you know, these tariffs right now are probably a deflection of more to come.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's what I'm thinking is that he's waiting for us to drop our guard before he hits us with something else.
Well, where the problem's going to come in is he put out his tariffs. I know Scott Bessent, who's the Secretary of the Treasury, said everybody's just got to calm down, don't retaliate. Yeah, no, just let this bully beat you up and don't retaliate. That's when things are going to get uglier, when everybody starts to retaliate. China already came back with 34% tariffs. That's going to be devastating in its own right. But when Europe and all these other people do these things, it's going to be absolutely devastating for a lot of folks. And then, of course, Donald Trump being who he is, when they retaliate, then he'll ramp it up, and we got a big pissing contest, and Donald Trump will ultimately lose.
Well, he will continue to win as long as these people, these Trump-a-fucks, continue to believe all his bullcrap.
Well, some of them are a lost cause. I don't think some of them will ever understand or think properly. But the more independent ones, the ones that have average intelligence, hopefully they see the light, and that's enough to shut this fucking idiot down.
Another thing that I wanted to cover is I know there's going to be a nationwide protest and all that.
Right.
In the same token, I would like for everyone to stay vigilant, because you never know if any MAGA or anyone else, can go over there and start crap with the protesters. So,
right.
you know, as far as history, you know, from war, you know, something has always happened. There's always been a clash, and I just want everyone to be careful out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's going to be some people out there trying to disrupt things and such, and we got to keep our cool and keep focused on what's going on. But when you're dealing with, I mean, the thing about it is, in these protests, there's going to be some Republicans protesting Donald Trump too. So
Yeah,
I don't know, old soul. Have you seen much violence at these protests you've gone to?
No, no, I haven't. Anytime that there's been, maybe like some agitators trying to get out of hand, like they shut it down like really, really quickly. So
Okay.
far we haven't been seeing that, and I think that we've been pretty prepared since BLM, knowing that agitators was in the crowd just trying to start chaos, and we've been watching that really quickly, so it hasn't gotten out of hand.
Has the Proud Boys
Okay.
showed up?
No, they ain't crazy.
They're not as tough as they seem. They know they'll be trampled.
not
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
anymore.
They know what it's like to get hit in the face with a brick, I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, Joel, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it immensely. Thank you.
All right, Boomer, thank you for having me. Thank all the people that are listening out there as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Well, Old Soul, what do you expect? That guy, great questions, great comments. It sounded like he was talking through an aquarium.
Yeah,
And I think
might
his
have been
filter-
on, he might have been on like his car. He might have been on his like car speaker or something. It sounded weird.
And I think his filter needs to be changed. So, no, he did a great job. I'm not giving you shit. I'm not giving you shit at all. I'm a smart ass and I can't help myself sometime. Old Soul, what are you expecting are you going to be in DC or are you going to be in your home state or where are you going to be?
I'll text you.
Oh, you
You know
don't want
how
to
my
tell
mom
me.
was. Yeah, you know how my mom was last time, but also my other safety precautions because I have the wild child and my daughter. Well, both of my daughters with me this weekend, so that's gonna be cool. But I do think that we've gotten it said hands off, and so there's been people who saying hands off of what, and we're like hands off of Social Security, hands off of Medicaid. I think I sent you some pictures of some of those signs that people bring. So I've
Yeah.
always been just like, hey, get really, really creative with those signs when you bring them out. Some of them are just hilarious. But also, Heritage Foundation, they don't like us because we've been hitting their
No.
building like every single time. They do not like us. However, they won't cover the protest outside of their building either.
Wow.
They're
Well, if you're
pussies.
bringing the wild child and your daughter, you're pretty well protected because everything I've heard about your daughter and wild child, they ain't having it. It doesn't sound like they're going to be having it. So it'll be
Yeah, I
fun.
talked to one of
They're
her
both your
teachers and
daughters now, right?
Yeah, and they're not allowed to speak politics at the school. That's just a rule that they came up with because it's toxic. And
Yeah.
someone, I guess they're like a moon landing denialist. Like they think we faked the moon landing. I don't know. But he was saying some crazy. Yeah, he was saying some crazy stuff, and everybody was sitting there kind of listening. And her teacher, she's like, yeah. So she just straight up said, tell me your parents are Trump supporters without telling me your parents are Trump supporters. And she said she called me and she told me that it wasn't a big deal, but just to remind her not to talk politics in the classroom or
Did
whatever.
they also believe in flat Earth?
I don't know what she just said that he thinks that we faked the moon landing.
Oh my
And
God.
she,
Yeah.
she was like, I was homeschooled, and even I know that we landed on the moon.
Yeah,
She just
that's a
doesn't really know
ridiculous
how to be
conspiracy
quiet about stuff like that.
If you
Yeah,
guys if you guys really want to piss off the Heritage Foundation, you guys should recruit some First Amendment auditors to go out with you guys. That'll
Oh my
really, really piss them off.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people, when you say hands off, is different to different people. But I do know we want their hands off of our VA, our veterans benefits, hands off of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all of that stuff. So hopefully they'll get the hint. Because we go in front of politicians' offices, in front of news stations outside of their buildings, in front of the Capitol. Like we will go anywhere. It don't matter.
All right, I'm going to take somebody else here. I'm taking a flyer because I don't know that we've ever talked to this person, but I like the name Rebel and Renew. So let's see. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's see if they answer. You know, some of the people further down the list, I don't know if they're expecting to be called up or not, and a lot of times they aren't. Hold on a second here. Yeah, I don't think they're coming on. We'll try one more here. Well, we'll try a bunch more.
While you're
Let's
pulling people out, it's hands
Yeah.
off our rights.
Right. Absolutely. All rights. All rights.
Yes.
Okay, I'm calling somebody else up here, and they're not.
Nope.
No, they're not coming. All right.
Now, the important question here is Eric wearing pants?
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay. I've got somebody coming up I know will answer this time. Trucker T.
Yes, I will definitely answer.
Hey, trucker.
Hey there.
How's it going?
It is going well. Let me rephrase that. It was going well until I got the news yesterday that our president decided to go golfing instead of standing on a tarmac to greet our soldiers that had fallen.
Right.
Absolutely. Just
And
disrespectful.
that's why I wanted to come on, because they made such a big deal of Biden checking his watch inadvertently or whatever it was. I mean, they just beat that dog to no end. But we've got a guy who decides to go golfing with the Saudis as opposed to welcoming home our 4 fallen soldiers from Lithuania. And I just think it's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting, and the double standards run rampant in this freaking Republican Party.
I mean, I've seen Obama in the rain, right? I mean, I've seen other presidents. Whenever we have fallen soldiers, they stand on a tarmac and they bring them in. This one decided that it wasn't important enough that he had to do this live golf tournament instead, and it just enrages me.
Yeah.
In his first term, he sent Pence. He went to the first one. I honestly think that first one, he thought that the cameras would be there, they would get some good pictures of him. And when that not only didn't happen, because journalists, yeah, they're questionable sometimes, but even they are respectful enough not to turn that into a political event. But anyway, he sent Mike Pence after he only went once, and now he's sending Pete Hegseth there. Insane and disrespectful. I can't with that.
Well, I mean, I guess we're all losers and suckers in his eyes. I mean, I don't get it. And I wanted to say this also. I was on a live last night, and there was a soldier she said she was stationed on an island. And this is the first time I've ever heard this. She said that she was denied SNAP benefits and WIC benefits. So I'm like, well,
Wow.
what do you mean? You're a soldier. You don't need benefits. She's like, no, you don't understand. We have to have those because we can't work anywhere else. And I just had a child. I'm like, so are you telling me that they're not paying you enough to sustain your lifestyle? And she says, no, I have to go to the commissary with my WIC card and my SNAP card, and it's cut off. And
Wow.
I about lost my shit. You hear me?
Yeah.
They were doing our veterans so bad that it's just not even funny anymore. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will.
That is that's disgusting.
Yeah. That is horrific.
Is that in a certain state that happened?
Hawaii.
Wow, that's surprising.
How can you do that to someone? That's just awful.
Well, and right before she said that, I had heard, before I even got on that live, that Trump was cutting funding for something like that because they thought it was waste and abuse or DEI involved in it. And then she went to the commissary like she always does to get milk, eggs, whatnot, and they told her, no, you can't get it.
Wow.
And that's a shame. I mean, these are people who are fighting for our freedoms.
Hmm.
and they
Yeah.
can't get the necessities. So I don't know. I just felt really bad when I heard that, and I want to come up here and say that we have to
You
go
want
to
to talk
veterans.
about somebody needing a GoFundMe? Holy
Yeah,
crap!
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I've got her information. We have to protect our veterans. I'm
Yep.
hoping something comes out of this tomorrow. I'm not really sure what will, but we've got all 50 states marching, and I hope something good comes out of it.
I do too.
I'll
We
be
should protect our we should protect our veterans, but we also shouldn't have to protect our veterans for
That's my
shit
point.
like this.
Yep, that's
No,
my
what-
point, Mike.
No, what we should do is fire thousands of workers that are veterans from the VA. That's what we should do.
Oh yeah, that'll help.
It's going to help a lot.
And the thing is,
Truckers, Sons of Liberty is going to be at the protest tomorrow. So just like send me her name and information, and then I'll let them know what's going on with that. And that's just horrible.
I will.
I remember when they were saying women in the military, if they needed to have an abortion because they were having a miscarriage and different things like that, Republicans were fighting tooth and nail for them not to be able to take leave and still get paid. And then they came, I guess they were using their sick time or whatever, or away time or whatever that was. Republicans was like, absolutely not. If you do that, you should not be able to get paid. And the way
Right.
that they treated the women in bases in red states, atrocious, just horrible.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And I don't know. When I heard that, I was beside myself because I'm a veteran. When I was in the military, we didn't have to go through it, right? My money went into the first sergeant's safe, and it stayed there until I got out, and then hey, I took it all in with me. But now they can't even afford to buy milk and eggs, and it's disgusting.
It is terrible. I have somebody who's anxious to come on. I don't know that we've heard from her before, but let's see. Tamika, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You sound like you're anxious to come on, had something to say. Here you are.
All I want to say is I'm not a Republican, Democrat, whatever. I'm an American first. And it just saddens me on the state of the morality of most Americans. I just want to say it's not just one race. It's a lot of the people that in this young generation, they don't have what it takes to work hard and earn a living from out of nothing. It's a lot stacked against them. I'm not going to lie, but the goal, the wherewithal, even the tactics to talk to other people and have a conversation, that is not even taught anymore. It's a lost art. So how are we supposed to get together? And I digress from there.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, between the media and the parties, we are a pretty divided country. I can't sit across the table from a Republican and have a decent conversation because they don't listen to facts or truth or anything, and I don't want to listen to their bullshit, so it's impossible to come together.
I mean, everybody can. It just takes what some people are not willing to give, which is morality and patience. But all I want to know, at the end of the day, we're all Americans, right? It doesn't matter our party, and that's what we're losing. They preaching so much for us to be against each other, right? Like I went to Mega Lives and listened to them. Everybody just wants America to be, not saying where we were in the 80s, but to still matter in this world. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, Tamika, the problem here is that MAGA only wants the best things for themselves, but they also want to hurt other people in the process. That's where the problem comes. And I've had people say to me before, why can't you just listen to somebody who's got a MAGA mindset and come to some compromise? Because there is no compromise between absolutely right and absolutely wrong. If it's bad, I can't compromise even an inch with some of the shit that they're pushing out, whether it be racism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, tearing down democracy. I got nothing for them at this point.
But
I
guess
can't
what?
negotiate
It's on
with them.
both sides. Both sides have issues.
Okay,
Okay.
that's the only point I'm saying.
Okay.
Both parties have done racist stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
And a lot
I'm
of
not.
Americans, they won't acknowledge that. They want to say it's all this and that. No, it's not. Both parties have had it against the American people. And I'm gonna just hush because I probably didn't ruffle some feathers with that though. But yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying when you're saying we're all Americans. You're saying that, I'm saying that, Boomer, everyone on this panel says that. But when you talk to these diehard MAGA people, Donald Trump himself and the people he surrounds himself with, they don't believe that we are all American. They
No.
really, really
No.
don't. They think that some people are American and other people are not. And they judge that off of what's in your bank account and what you look like. And I will never sit down with someone with that mindset and have a conversation with them about anything. Not gonna
Right.
happen.
So Democrats have never said no because of mindset and race.
I'm not saying that Democrats haven't done that, but I'm saying what you're seeing right now, Proud Boys marching on the streets. You sit here and you see Donald Trump firing people because of the color of their skin and calling them a DEI hire, yet he's hiring somebody on the merit because he's a white man and he is less qualified than a black man. That is pure racism at its core. And I used to be, you can ask Boomer, I used to have a lot of empathy and compassion for these people, but I can't anymore. I seriously left my fucks November 5th of 2024. And my empathy, Donald Trump put a tariff on that, and I can't afford it anymore.
You're right, old school. I feel you. Let me ask you a question though. Do you think the American family, as far as that was BLK, was better or worse under segregation? How the family unit?
What?
Why would they? I have said they've been better under segregation or segregation.
No, I said the family unit. I'm not saying why or does it have a reason. Weren't families back in that era of our creed stronger? And I'm just trying to figure out what happened. That's all.
Oh, okay. So what happened with our family? What happened with our family units? What happened with our family units were things like Jim Crow, when they came through and they took black men out of the household and put them in jail for free labor. That's what happened to our country, our culture in America. That's what happened.
But that was the other side saying we're gonna make it better, and guess what? It didn't work out that way.
Tamika, let me explain something to you. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make. They will say, okay, the Republicans are bad, but the Democrats are bad. And there are some Democrats that are bad. I'll grant you that. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't join clubs. But here's the thing, Tamika. You got to look at the problem and you got to deal with the problem. We got an absolute dumpster fire on the right going on. And if we don't put that out, we can't fix what's going on the Democratic side. I'm saying we put the dumpster fire out, we try to figure shit out, and then when we get things going, then we need to go through the Democrats one by one and get rid of the people that are the bad seeds, if you will, in the Democratic Party. But for somebody to say, well, these guys are bad, but these guys are bad too, that gets nothing done. And that's a bunch of bullshit that's been put out there, and you don't, Tamika, don't believe that bullshit.
But
it's
no,
just another diversion or a distraction.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I understand the reality of what has gone on in America. It's not just race right now. Right now, it's about classism. It's about people who have money and who don't. So if you don't have money right now, it's about to get real tight, real. I already feel it. That's all I got to say.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And Tamika, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to get you on, and it's I appreciate your insights and just keep fighting, man. Fuck these people. They're not our friends. They're trying to overthrow the government. They're trying to marginalize every person that doesn't look like them. And this is coming from a guy that does look like them. So fuck them.
And
fuck the old white man.
Yeah, and speaking of classism, This is the wealthiest administration in American history. The wealthiest. And it's not a Democrat that's in the White House right now.
No,
No.
all the cabinet are billionaires. Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
Or something in this cabinet.
And to think that they are working for us is just not doesn't make any sense. Tamika, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on.
The ones in the
Go
cabinet
ahead.
that aren't, the ones in the cabinet that aren't millionaires are in the cabinet hoping to be millionaires. So
Billionaires.
billionaires, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pull. We're getting down to the later stages here, and I'm going
Uh-oh.
to pull in a couple people that I usually leave for last because
Oh boy.
Shit's getting real
Sergeant
now.
of
Let's
Arms
go.
is in the motherfucking building.
it's like start the prairie fire and get in the car and get the fuck out of here. Go ahead, C.
How are you
What's
doing?
going on, Mike? Into the panel, into the chat. Happy Friday to y'all.
Absolutely.
See, Temptation is the equivalent of when I show up in Truckers Live.
You better know it. You better say that one more time, TJ. And guess what? I love it. Well, only thing I gotta say is just to back you up, Mike, on just what you said a few minutes ago. We cannot focus on the past. We have to focus on the here and now. Because we got
Absolutely.
a panel of the administration. They're a bunch of millionaires. Apparently, they don't give a damn though about the middle class or the poor people. If anything, they're trying to destroy us. So it's up to us. We can't give up. We can't, fall into Trump's bullshit anytime when he said something. We have to stand our ground and we have to fight and we can't give up and we can't stand strong because eventually we will win.
Yeah. I don't think we're at a stage right now where we can afford to say, well, they're bad, but we got to look at this side too. We got to walk up, slap the taste out of their mouth, and push them down.
Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Exactly.
got to stand our ground.
We haven't
Keep on
stood our ground
standing
for a long
strong
time.
and stand up for what's right.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I knew I would have a kindred spirit when I pulled Sea Temptation on.
You damn
Um,
right, and
I-
I'm going to keep on standing on my spirit.
I got a new name for what we've talked about before, and it's a colon cobbler, which
Holy
means
cobbler.
yeah,
That
putting your
sounds like
foot
what's-
up your ass.
That sounds like what's in Donald Trump's diaper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no shit.
Exactly. Stop that. Because you're going to
Yeah.
need somebody to change the damn thing every day. You feel me?
Yeah, no
Boomer,
shit, no
your
shit.
empathy got tariffs on it too now, huh?
Yeah, they do. I have empathy for people who deserve empathy, and I have no empathy for people who, I've always said this. I've known people in my life that are just assholes and make people cry, and
Yeah.
then when you push back on them, they cry looking for the empathy. When somebody who makes other people cry ends up crying, I not only don't have empathy, it's like a shark seeing blood. I want to fucking destroy them at this point because they do this all the time. And once they get pushed back, they start crying and weeping. And there is no fucking empathy for those pieces of shit.
And you know what? Let me just add, Mike, though. I mean, like when he was talking about extending the TikTok, which is okay, but, in terms of slapping those tariffs on the Chinese people and they're refusing to sell the company, I can't blame them because he's
No,
just
I don't.
using that as a tactic to being a damn bully. And it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. I mean, why?
Absolutely. He only agreed to extend it for the 75 days because he wants one of his buddies to buy it.
Yep.
Right.
Right. I mean, he expected China to be his bootlicker, so and China's like, hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, for what?
It's a couple people in China who are absolute geniuses who created an algorithm. And,
Yeah.
It's not like it's like the Chinese communists undercover created TikTok. It was a couple of freaking kids in China who were really smart and created an algorithm that nobody else can replicate
Right.
as of yet.
And poor fucking dumb fuck Elon Musk. He doesn't have enough nickels to rub together to buy TikTok.
Throwing the hell
No.
don't. And then it was more all this negotiation between Amazon and Oracle And I was like, hey, if Amazon, buys TikTok, I'm gone because they are totally against DEI. And I'm not with that. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing about it is all these Republicans and Democrats are worried about Chinese getting our data from an app with people dancing and talking about politics. Yet Pete Hegseth and our vice president is putting out war strategies on a fucking app that's unsecured and is commercial. They said they did it just once, and now we find out they did it 20 times. Mike Waltz is putting things out on Gmail. I'm not worried about TikTok. I'm worried about our own fucking national security department.
Right. Agreed.
No kidding.
It's like, who's going to step up and put a stop to this?
TikTok's like the least of our freaking worries.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, no,
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
talking on TikTok, but like you said, Gmail, that's why are you discussing, national security information on an email like Gmail? Isn't that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But Hillary's emails, remember that. Hillary's emails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
doing, but I mean,
Absolutely.
look what they did on Signal, and I mean that's an insecure app right there. And you talking about top secure information like that? Come on, and then the only thing Donald Trump is going to do is just sweep that under the rug and keep it moving.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm gonna pull. Go ahead.
I had a question. What do you guys think about him having to return the man that was deported in error? What do you think about him getting him back by Monday? Do you think he's going to be able to do that?
Nope.
I mean, he can because he released the Tate brothers, so this should be no problem, right?
Well, it should be. It should be. He's going to appeal it too, so God knows how much longer that will take. But understand why he doesn't want to bring him back.
Why?
It's about setting. It's about setting precedents. If he can go in there and pick him out and bring him back, then he's going to have to do it 1,000 times for everybody else. And
Well,
so
in
he
other words,
knows
it's
he's
too
fucked
much
if he has
like
to do that.
Well, not only that, but it's admitting that he fucked up.
Yeah.
And just like you said on one of your videos, Mike, and you put it out there just as plain as day that Trump is a fuck up. Period.
Well, he is a fuck up.
He is a fuck up.
I mean,
we've known
by-
that for 8 or 10 years. We've known he's a fuck
By
up.
definition, he's a fuck up. He fucks up everything. He fucks up everything he's ever done. We're toward the end here of wrapping things up. I don't want to push it too longer.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull in one more person. This is a show closer.
Uh-oh.
And not in.
Uh-oh.
British John is up. You're toward the end of the show here. You are the show closer, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, British John, I have a question. What do you think about Gavin Newsom's interview with Midas Touch? What do you? I want to know, British John, what he thinks about that.
I haven't seen it, so I don't have an opinion. Unlike a Republican, I can't talk about shit I don't know. It's a weird rule, I know. But,
I heard that.
Hey,
that is,
he actually had a joke that was funny.
Hey, your wife likes all my jokes and the accent. Now,
Nope.
look,
John, I'm in here, so you can't really say
Well, his
that.
wife is here, so
So let me get this out of the way. Any Republicans that are listening right now that are parents, I'm talking to the parents right now. There are consequences to actions.
Exactly.
The Australian government has come out. We put a 34% tariff on them. They are taking Bluey back. You are going to have to raise your own fucking kids.
oh motherfucker.
I like this guy.
If you are not ready to entertain and engage your children, then for God's sake, turn this shit around. Okay? These are serious issues, people. I'll give you one joke at the end. I'm going to be serious for a minute. Ironically, don't get me wrong, this is nearly the dumpster fire to end all dumpster fires. But there is so much shit going on that there are a few other things you need to pay attention to. So my ask is, please do email and call your Congress people. The firing of the head of the NSA and American Cyber Command you need to be worried about this. This is my place of knowledge. I'm a former military intelligence hacker. Been doing it for 20 years. Don't worry, I wasn't going after you guys. Well, not all of you. And
Yeah.
and the consequences to this are that we have decided that loyalty is more important than experience.
Yeah.
That is dangerous. Trump fired him and 5 others, including his deputy, because Laura Loomer said he had to. Now,
Yeah.
what hasn't been said is whether she was mid or post blowjob. That's still an open question.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll have.
but
I thought the same thing.
yeah. And to be honest with you, the best thing about Laura Loomer giving a blowjob, it's the only time she's quiet. That's just
Yeah.
just
Now, John, let me take you off track here before I get taken down. Because you worked in intelligence, I've said this before, and it's worrisome. Even though we've got all the tariffs and all this stuff going on, I feel like national security in this country isn't a thing anymore. With the way they handle national security on all these things that we found out about, it's like we have no more national security. We have goofballs running it. They don't know what they're doing. And everybody probably knows everything because we got people in Russia on chats about war plans. How do you feel about our situation with national security in this country right now?
If you want to find the good news, it's that there are still good people in it. The irony is they're being led by donkeys. But I've had the privilege of working with these people for many years, and they're still there, whether they're a DEI hire or not. And when I say DEI, most of them have trauma, but they all married redheads. It's on them. No,
Yeah, that's right.
There's good people still in there. It's the leadership that's the issue. And by the way, anyone coming after me for the redhead joke, I'm married to one. Okay, I get to own that joke. And the scars that come with it. No, there's good people there, and for the moment, I'm not concerned. It's the leadership that's fucking up. It's the leadership that don't trust the experience that was there, and that's a different problem, and one we'll come on to in the future. But please do engage your Congress people about this, because this is where there needs to be hearings, and at some point you have to hope the Republican Party might, I don't know, reappear and take ownership. They own this. They didn't They didn't say they didn't want to do this thing when they went to Mar-a-Lago for their conference back in January. So they are complicit. And if you were a German officer in the war, you hung from the same rope for complicity as you did for giving the actual orders. And I'm trying to make that as TikTok friendly as I can. So
I appreciate that.
British John, I had a question. The good ones that's still in there, what do you think the odds of them continuing to hold the line is? I did read that open letter that Jack Smith did asking them to hold the line. What do you think about that?
I'm choosing my words carefully. They're choosing to be quiet, and we should respect that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
respect, don't ask that. Do not ask somebody to express an opinion that may cost them their job, and with it your security. This is a good time to not ask those doing to do more. Let them carry out their function quietly. Trust me, I'll raise hell about it. I have no scares. I have to go and be a dad. I'm down here in Ventura for the weekend with my American wife and my anchor baby. We will be at the protest tomorrow in Ventura, and I there's a video I put up about this. Treat it as a celebration, people. Rational said this earlier on. There will be Republicans there that are trying to find a home. They didn't vote for this cruelty. They didn't vote for this infliction of pain on the populace. They weren't aware. They couldn't comprehend. Show them that this is a place of love where they can belong. That whilst we disagree on many things, we agree on this one. He is not fit for government. I am going, despite the fact that we've been advised not to on many occasions, because and don't get me wrong, I know I will be speaking, and I'm working up a set right now for it, but I'm going because this country, I adopted this country, and more importantly, it adopted me. And this is one of the few ways I have of saying thank you to it. I'm too old to go into battle, but I am dumb enough to take a microphone in a crowd of 10,000 and say that I understand why you voted for Donald Trump. No one wanted to get syphilis, but it was sure as hell fun getting it. You just have to live with the consequences. And,
yeah. Well, look at the time. Look at the time.
I will finish this. I'll finish this on this one because C's still here. I just want to say, I want them to bring back segregation. I am pro-segregation because whatever the fuck they're putting in the water, I don't want to drink it. The MAGA people are drinking some weird ass fountain, and it's not turning the frogs gay. It's doing all this other stuff. So please,
tell it, man.
Please, let's get MAGA fountains as soon as we can. They deserve to not have to drink our water because we sure as hell don't deserve theirs.
Hey, John.
Absolutely.
Don't discriminate against gay frogs. I'm just saying.
Look, I was not a crack at your partner, okay? Just a wonderful human being. I have to go. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. If you want funny, which is what I normally do, there's a load of videos on my channel that I put up today. There's loads of jokes in there about Trump. And next week is a fresh week, and I will have new material. But today is a day of seriousness. Tomorrow is a day of joy.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
God bless. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Boomer, did you I'm glad he said that. I think I texted you like last week. I think it was during that Tesla takedown protest that we did. And I was saying how difficult it is to like be around those who voted for Trump. I do see more and more of them. But it is difficult being around them. And just for British John, I'm going to try tomorrow. I'm going to really, really try.
Yeah, well, here's my problem with that. And, he's a better man than I am if he can do that. If I'm around somebody who did something dastardly, abuse a woman, abuse a child, and now they're repenting for this, I still don't like the motherfucker. I still don't trust them. That's the real key here. I don't trust them. They can come to me and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know any better." Well, there was plenty of information out there to learn and know better. But even if I was to forgive you, I can't trust you to do the right thing if we're ever in this situation again. So that's what's hard for me to accept them. There's just certain people that are irredeemable.
Yeah, any advice from anyone, like, just imagine that, you have these Trump voters that's coming to the protest where you are at. Any advice on, like, how do you think you would handle that situation?
I'd throw a brick at him.
No, I would do what Donald Trump would do, and that would be cordial with them until you get what you want out of them.
Well, that depends. Are they Trump supporters who are now no longer Trump supporters, or are they Trump supporters who are still Trump supporters and protesting against what you're protesting for?
Well, some of them I just say, like pro-democracy curious, because they just kind of like ask questions and they listen, but they don't really like know where they're at. Like they're confused, but you can see them trying to figure stuff out. And then there's other ones. I text Boomer this one. They were at the Tesla takedown protest like crazy because they kept saying we have to get Elon Musk out of here. But they were not blaming Trump. They just figured when he left, everything would be fine. And trying to tell them that was frustrating.
So what you do in that case is educate them.
Yeah, old soul. You know how you get rid of them? You know how you make them go away?
I don't have any bricks.
No, not bricks. Well, that's a good way to make them go away. I'm not going to lie. That is a good way to make them go away. But the way you make them go away is to embarrass them with facts.
Yeah, and educate them with facts. If they're really curious and that you may think they might, flip, then you just
they're not going to flip. Some of them are not going to flip.
Yes, but you have an educated conversation with them, and then you'll know. You'll know. Are they going to flip, or are they?
But if you hit them with facts, and it happened again today, the saga goes on with my Trump the fuck friend that I went to high school with, And I hit him with facts today, and all of a sudden he ran away.
Yeah,
He did.
that's
He
what
no
they do.
longer. He no longer wanted to have the conversation because I embarrassed him.
Every time they have the conversation, his girlfriend comes home and he's got to go.
Yeah, every time. Every time I hit him with all the facts, all of a sudden he can't talk anymore about it. So that's what you got to do is hit him with the facts.
But you can't. We can't.
Yeah.
You can't ostracize people who might.
And if anybody is loaded with the facts, it's Old Soul. I mean,
Yeah.
let's
I
be
can't
real.
understand where TJ is coming from. It's like we can't stoop down to their levels because, you know, I mean, the reality is mega people, they're very uneducated. We can't stoop to their level. So like he said, you got to fact check them.
There's nothing to say that you can't try to educate them. And if they start to see the light because you educate them, then all the better, you know, because that's what we need.
And if they start
isn't
flipping
that-
out,
isn't
then you
that our
got to
whole
walk away
point?
from them and that's it.
Isn't that our whole point? Is to try to get people to like come to our side?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this, if you live in this country and have been in this country the last 10 years and you're only pro-democracy curious, I'm sorry, that's not a fucking enough. If you can't commit yourself to democracy, we don't fucking need you. If I got to convince you that democracy is better than the alternative, you're too stupid to talk to.
Well, don't you guys remember when the Republicans loved the Constitution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to love it, but all of a sudden now we don't love it anymore.
Yeah, but you have to understand that we're all fairly educated people. We all grew up in fairly educated areas, or if we didn't grow up in educated areas, we left and went to educated areas. And a lot of people aren't, and it's not their fault that they just aren't educated. They don't see what, you know, like what we see, and they don't get what we get. But it's our job to educate them. It's our job to like make them see that like what they did, what they voted for, what they think is real is not.
Well, and I agree with that, but what I'm saying is when they get in your face to be an asshole, because that's what they do. They come down to the protest, they want to get in your face and be a dickhead. So you just embarrass them. That's what you do. That's all you can do with them. You embarrass them with facts, and they cower away like the cowards that they are every fucking time.
Well, I agree if those are people that came there with malicious intent. People that came there with just curiosity.
Well, I think Old Soul can attest to people coming there with malicious intent.
Well, yeah, and I know, right? Like if it's with malicious intent, I totally agree with you. If it's with curiosity, for maybe they didn't do the right thing, or maybe they just want to know more about like.
Well, yeah, okay, so 1% of the Trumplafucks. That's basically what we're talking about.
We'll take them.
We'll take 1%, but all the rest of these pieces of shit that come to cause a problem, I mean, give them what they deserve. Send them with their tails between their legs. That's the only way they're going to get the message.
Yeah, ignorance is not an excuse to break the law. If you break the law, if you do something against people, and they just say, I was too dumb to know any better, you still go to jail.
And Donald Trump will pardon them.
Well, yeah, if he's still president.
Right.
I'm going to wrap things up here. We've gone a long way here without any trouble. We had British John on. We've had Sea Temptation. We've been in precarious positions here, but not one warning. So I appreciate the help from TJ and Rebecca. Thank you, JD and Old Soul and Analytical Iowan and Sea Temptation and British John and everybody else.
Don't
Trucker
forget
T.
Trucker
Everybody
T,
that came
baby.
on.
Trucker T.
Absolutely. I thank you all for coming on. And for those of you listening, I thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night, all.